All right, so what if you could just download the core wisdom from like 50 of the greatest books ever written on wealth all at once? That's exactly what we're doing today. We're going to distill decades of pure insight into one powerful framework for living a truly prosperous life. So let's get right into it.
So, where are we pulling all this from? It's a fantastic book called 50 Prosperity Classics. It basically takes the essential lessons from absolute titans. We're talking Warren Buffett, Richard Branson, legendary thinkers like Napoleon Hill, and puts them all together. It's seriously like a one-stop shop for a more abundant life.
And really, this whole collection of wisdom boils down to one huge, game-changing question. What if true wealth isn't about frantically chasing after money? What if it's something totally different? A way of thinking, a way of acting, a whole new approach to life, really.
Okay, so to make this super concrete and not just some vague idea, the book lays out all this wisdom into a simple blueprint. It's got four main pillars. And you can think of this as, I don't know, the essential architecture for building a life that's not just wealthy, but full of abundance and real meaning.
So here's our roadmap. It's a four-step journey. First, we're going to start with the inner game. That's mindset. Then we move out into the real world with action. After that, we tackle the super important skill of discipline. And finally, we get to the big one, creating a lasting legacy. And here's the key. Each one builds on the one before it. All right, let's jump into pillar one. And this is absolutely crucial. Prosperity starts inside your own head. It's all about your mindset, your beliefs, your character. Bottom line, before you can have wealth, you have to become the kind of person who can attract it in the first place.
And James Allen, the guy who wrote As a Man Thinketh, he just hits the nail on the head here. He argues that your personal character is the absolute foundation of your wealth. Things like honesty, diligence, even sympathy, they aren't just nice-to-have virtues. He says they're like magnetic forces for prosperity. This leads us right into a core concept you've probably heard of, from books like The Secret, The Law of Attraction. And look, it's not some kind of magic wand. It's a principle. It just means you attract what matches your current state of being. So think about it. If you're constantly focused on what you don't have, guess what you're going to get more of? Lack. But if you focus on opportunity, you'll start seeing it everywhere.
And this is where a guy named T. Harv Eker comes in with a really powerful idea. He calls it your financial blueprint. These are all the deep, unconscious beliefs about money you picked up when you were a kid. So you have to ask yourself, are those beliefs actually helping you, or are they hurting you? Because he's crystal clear on this. If you don't change that internal blueprint, no amount of hard work on the outside is going to build lasting wealth. All right, so once you've got that internal mindset dialed in, it is time for action. Welcome to Pillar 2. Here, we're shifting gears from the inner game to the outer world. We're talking about creating real value and building actual enterprises. And who's the perfect example of this? Gotta be Richard Branson, right? I mean, his whole career is built on this one idea. Don't be afraid to be different. Real wealth isn't created by just doing the same old thing a little bit better. No, it's about doing things differently. It's the outsiders, the mavericks, who aren't afraid to shake things up. They're the ones who create incredible value. This brings up a brilliant point from Michael Gerber's classic book, The E-Myth. He says there are two mindsets. You've got the technician who knows how to do the work really well, but when they start a business, they just end up buying themselves a stressful job. Then you have the entrepreneur. They're different. They don't get stuck working in the business. They work on the business. They build systems that can create value even when they're not there. So, if you're going to build a system like that, what should its purpose be? Well, according to the startup legend Guy Kawasaki, it's not just about making money. The whole point of a business is to create meaning. I mean, think about it. If your why is strong enough, you can figure out any how.
Okay, so creating wealth is one thing, but man, keeping it, that's a whole different skill set. And that brings us to pillar 3, managing it. This is all about the practical, nitty-gritty discipline of protecting and growing what you've built. And honestly, this is where so many people drop the ball.
And of course, the master of this is Warren Buffett. His whole philosophy is surprisingly simple. He says he's never believed in risking what his family has and needs just to chase after something they don't have and don't need. It's just not worth losing sleep over. Real wealth management is about being smart and protecting what really matters. Now, take a look at this number. $1 million. According to David Bach, who wrote The Automatic Millionaire, that's roughly how much money most of us just, lose over our lifetimes. And why? Because we fail to do one simple, powerful thing. pay ourselves first. So, how do you actually do that? Well, there are two really popular paths to financial peace. On one hand, you've got David Bach's approach: automate everything. Set up systems, your savings and investments happen automatically, making wealth building pretty much inevitable. On the other hand, you've got Dave Ramsey, who's all about one thing: kill your debt. He says to go after loans and credit cards first to get your freedom. Look, they're different, but both are totally valid ways to get control of your finances.
And here's something that blows most people's minds. The groundbreaking research in The Millionaire Next Door found that the #1 trait of the truly wealthy isn't fancy cars or huge houses. It's 3 simple words: frugal, frugal, frugal. They just consistently live below their means. So the real key here isn't to copy how millionaires spend, it's to copy how they think and save.
And that brings us to our final and honestly most profound pillar. After you've done all the work to attract, create, and manage wealth, you have to ask, what's it all for? Pillar 4 takes this whole conversation to another level. We're talking about purpose, impact, and leaving a legacy. And this quote, wow, it's a real gut punch. And it comes from Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest people in history. After he made an absolutely staggering fortune, he spent the rest of his life giving it all away. He believed that the person who dies rich dies disgraced, because true wealth only finds its real purpose when you use it for the good of others. And believe me, this isn't some old-fashioned idea. The scale of giving today is just massive. I mean, look at this number: $33 billion. That's how much U.S. foundations gave away in grants in a single year, way back in 2005. It's only gotten bigger since then. Private wealth has become this incredible force for changing the world. And there's this incredible modern example: Chuck Feeney. People called him the billionaire who wasn't. Why? Because he secretly gave away his entire multi-billion-dollar fortune during his lifetime. His philosophy was simple: why wait? He wanted to use his wealth to solve problems right now. It's this powerful idea he called giving while living.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. Here are your 4 pillars to prosperity, the complete blueprint. Pillar 1, attract it. Your mindset is everything. Pillar 2, create it. Build systems that deliver real value. Pillar 3, manage it. Live below your means and always pay yourself first. And Pillar 4, share it. Create wealth so you have something to give away. That's the full picture of true prosperity, straight from the classics. And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. See, the pursuit of prosperity, it's not just about getting more stuff. It's about becoming more. It's about gaining the resources, the money, the time, the freedom, to answer a much, much deeper question. Prosperity gives you resources. What meaning will you create with them?